Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily Tesla report for Thursday, January 30th, 2025. Let's take a look at the chart. Start with the big picture. And this just shows, this is a weekly chart going back 5 years, what our longer term support and resistance levels are. 342.81 floor of support, 505.30 ceiling of resistance. We closed above the 342.81 2-year channel top. Boy, I'm just going to guess about 2 months ago. And that did set up 505.30 as our next big picture objective. It took about 3 or 4 weeks before we came close to testing it, but didn't test it. Since then, we've fallen away, and we've been relying on a channel structure that I'll show in a moment as to which of these two are we going to test first. Are we going to fall back to 342.81, where we could bottom out into the second quarter and round back up from there to 505.30, or will we test 505.30, which could contain quarterly, possibly annual highs? It is a 5-year channel top after all, and from there we could fall back into the low 340s perhaps in the months to follow. The answer emerged yesterday with the settlement of the open and close below the 398.92 rising channel bottom, and so 342.81 is now considered a 2 to 3 week target. And on the way down, we might see this today, 369.81. It can contain today's lows. We might even get a 2 to 3 day bounce from there back into the upper 390s, but I wouldn't count on it. I do think the settlement below 398.92, emphasis is now south. Emphasis is one of building selling pressures with the 342.81 level now likely within 2 to 3 weeks. And if we do close today below 369.81, we should see 342.81 by the end of next week, if not sooner. And now 369.81 on the way down is a nearly 2-week channel bottom. So it's a solid day tradable level. We could get a nice bounce from there. How far can we bounce? You know, we could, as I say, within a day or two, rally back to that 398.92 channel bottom. So that is your day trade, 369.81. It's also your swing trade, selling 398.92, buying 369.81, and possibly vice versa. But I would rather buy 369.81 after having been short at 398.92. Closing below 369.81, once again, our already targeted 342.81 level, likely by the end of next week. 342.81 is once again a former 2-year rising channel top, well suited to absorb selling through February and even through the second quarter perhaps, and from there we can round back up and reach that 505.30 level over the following 3 to 5 months. Now we're not going to see this today, but we also have 326.82, which is below 342.81. We cannot ignore this 1 month, actually kind of more of a 6-week descending channel bottom. These two will spread apart over time, diverge, so we'll just kind of see where it's all at as we approach it. But were we to test this today, and that's not going to happen, I'd call this a range of support that you can buy into aggressively longer term. But that's going to change here over the next week or two. Let's talk upside. We still have 398.92, and that can contain buying through next week. So that is your short sale for the day. As we then could test 369.81 today, but it's also our short sale through next week, below which 342.81 remains a 2 to 3 week target. So the way things stand, I see no good reason to be long Tesla if your time horizon takes you into, say, the middle of February, because I think over that time frame, 342.81 is a likely outcome. Now, if we do happen to close back above 398.92, that does then set up 445.12 as a realistic 2 to 3 week target. We're not there yet, but if we do close above 398.92, that sort of rejection of a classic sell signal is in itself a valid sign of strength. Now, on the way up, a 405.12 will offer a solid upward pivot point. So if you're reluctant to buy the market, that is to say go long above 398.92, then your next opportunity for clarifying 445 445.12 is a settlement above 405.12. So I think you can sell 398.92 and anticipate, that 369.81 channel bottom over the next day or two, 342.81 over the next couple of weeks. And if we happen to close back above 398.92, that is a good reason to exit any short position you may have. Keep in mind, if we close today above 398.92, we're also closing back above Wednesday's high. And so that in itself is a sign of recovery. And if you're not convinced of 445.12 as a 1 to 2, 2 to 3 week objective, then what's more convincing is then following a settlement above 405.12. So 398.92, that's also, that's kind of a short-term 1 to 2 day trade, maybe even an intraday trade where we push back above 398.92 today. You should allow for 405.12 on an intraday basis where we can top out for the day, and if there's enough time left, we can fall back and close below the 398.12 formation, if you catch my drift. So this 405.12 is going to be a valid indicator of follow-through buying. On an intraday basis, pushing above 398.92, expect 405.12. And if we close above 398.92, expect 405.12 tomorrow if we don't test it today. 405.12 able to contain daily highs, and if settled above, should accelerate bullish momentum. That 445.12 level, then actually attainable by the end of next week. 445.12 is able to contain buying on a weekly basis, and we can fall away from here. So closing above 405.12. Let me go back to this. Closing above 398.92, I see no good reason to stay short Tesla as we move through the rest of January and into mid-February. 445.12 in reach within a couple of weeks of doing so. And then certainly closing above 405.12 is your last sort of final shoe to drop on a buy signal into next week. 445.12 then in reach possibly within 3 to 5 days where we can top out on a weekly basis. So if you're short now, 2 to 3 week swing trader, closing above 398.92 is an indication that you should reverse and go long up to 445.12. And, if you go long a little bit above 398.92, you can go long even more above 405.12. Now, 445.12 is a level, once again, that can contain weekly highs. We might even top out here into later February and fall away. But closing above 445.12 is our indication of 505.30 within 2 to 3 weeks, that long-term resistance area. There are two conditions in which I would anticipate an eventual 505.30 target, and that is either A, testing 342.81, which is expected over the next 2 or 3 weeks, or B, closing above the 445.12 formation, which would yield that within probably 2 to 3 weeks. 505.30, long-term resistance, able to contain buying into possibly through the second quarter, and from there we can fall away on a month-by-month basis. I think that pretty much rounds it out. Just hit 8 minutes. Please click like, share, subscribe. Check out wickedstocks.com. We're going to put out a stock pick Thursday, today, the day of this analysis. We put one out 2 days ago on Equifax. Check us out. You can see it all for free by going to wickedstocks.com and taking advantage of our 5-day free trial. I will be back tomorrow, of course, with Friday's Tesla, and you have a great day.